Why do you think President Trump ordered all US flags at half-staff for the death of a political commentator, but not for the death of actual legislators? But when Jimmy Carter died, an actual former elected president, he got pissed off because the flags would still be at half-staff by the time his inauguration happened. I hope no blue states do it. Ford dealership nearby my work here in CA has their huge flag at half-staff, furthering my disinterest in owning anything Ford. Most dealerships in general are owned by heavily conservative families. And absolutely no mention of a shooting at a school in Colorado that also occurred today. It's only a crime if they are the victim. Remember that. If they had to fly the flag at half-mast for every school shooting, then flags would spend most of the time only half up. Might as well just have shorter flagpole. I'm glad to see other people upset by this, because I'm honestly affronted by the lowering of the flag for a right-wing media head. The flag should really only be lowered for high-ranking officials, or in remembrance of a national tragedy. Today there was also a shooting at a school in Colorado, but the flag wasn't lowered for that. It's normally only lowered for the day of 9/11, and it's going to be lowered for 4 days, one of which covers 9/11. https://www.pbs.org/news/politics/Trump flies Mar-a-Lago flag at full height before end of mourning period for Carter. https://www.pbs.org/news/politics/Trump flies Mar-a-Lago flag at full height before end of mourning period for Carter. He's already come out and said that he hates Democrats months ago. This isn't new. Trump knows he can capitalize on the death by appealing to his base. And news about that little pesky birthday note. It's much more than that. The right is already using this as a means of fear-mongering the have-nots to take up arms against each other, while the oppressive ruling class continues to roll out martial law and violate and remove the rights of all citizens. Highly disrespectful for Charlie Kirk made it clear time and time again that he doesn't want shooting to be politicized, and that we shouldn't let our empathy cloud our judgment. This death should be ignored. This is what he wanted. Get over it already. I think empathy is a made up, new age term, and it does a lot of damage. Charlie Kirk. And why has he not even mentioned the student that got shot in Colorado? I guess kids aren't as important as political allies. The absolute F state of affairs when a school shooting is just background noise. As much as I hate it, background noise is the perfect description for the school shooting today, and most others as well. Damn, that's sad. The flags are requested to be down at half-staff for a longer period of time for Charlie Kirk's death than they are for 9/11. Edit. To clarify, yes, I understand the flags were at half-staff for a couple of weeks when 9/11 happened. My point was simply that this week specifically, flags will be at half-staff longer for Charlie Kirk's passing than they will be for the annual 9/11 remembrance. Tomorrow is 9/11, too. Because those legislators weren't on his side and therefore didn't matter to him. I think empathy is a made-up new age term that has done a lot of damage. Charlie Kirk. I think empathy is a made-up new age term that has done a lot of damage. Charlie Kirk don't let mass shooting victims control the narrative with empathy. Charlie Kirk. Gun violence deaths are the cost of keeping our Second Amendment rights. Charlie Kirk. He only cares about personal loyalty. I think more than that. He cares about weaponizing this and using it for personal gain. Charlie, to his credit, was relatively outspoken lately about the Epstein stuff, and I'm going to guess Trump didn't like that much. Idiocracy. Do not insult President Camacho like that. He was a good man who actually cared about his country, and his plan of getting the smartest guy in the world to fix everything was actually a very good one. This is infinitely worse. Charlie Kirk founded Turning Point USA and is largely responsible for DJT. I think you're thinking of turtle cosplayer Mitch McConnell. We can thank him for unleashing Mango Mussolini. Charlie Kirk reached out to the Gen Z crowd in a way that only Joe Rogan was able. There are a lot of people responsible for Trump, but I'm fully of the belief that Charlie and Joe are the main ones responsible for the Gen Z right-wing shift we saw this election cycle. Oh easy. He's a piece of shit. We shouldn't even elevate him to the S level. Because Kirk is their desperate distraction from the Epstein files. Yesterday the letter Trump swore didn't exist was revealed to the world. Today Kirk is killed. Trump is going to talk about this for days. He's going to do some insane/horrible as retaliation and keep ramping things up, so we all don't even have time to talk about Epstein. It's the least he could do for ordering a hit on a high-profile MAGA to distract from Epstein. The timing is suspicious GBH. Trump only cares about one thing. Himself. Charlie Kirk worked to give Trump additional power. Those legislators did not. Therefore Trump thinks Charlie is deserving, and they are not. This type of reasoning explains every single behavior he engages in. Answer: it's all performative, and they don't care who loses. Trump fucks kids. Rapes. Trump also ordered flags that were lowered to half-staff for President Carter's passing raised, so that the optics of his inauguration would meet with the image he wanted to project. Frauds. Gun violence is senseless. Build on enacting sensible gun laws, rather than blaming everything on trans hormones and any Republicans. Rush Limbaugh won the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and Rudy Giuliani gets it next. Yeah, but we all know the Trump years ain't canon. As a veteran, I find lowering flags for someone who created dissension and chaos very offensive. Hate on me if you will, but know this. I love my country. I love my neighbors, no matter their race, religion, sexual orientation or political beliefs. That is what I fought for, and will continue to fight for. But this crap of lowering flags for irrelevant individuals has got to stop. Trump giving the Presidential Medal of Freedom to Rudy Giuliani is equally offensive. Because has a C. To trigger the libs. He is a self-absorbed loser. Close bracket. I wouldn't be surprised if Trump tries to keep this in the news cycle for as long as possible, so he's no longer the focus on these Epstein files. I would hope these dumb pedo Republicans would realize they'll be used as pawns and he would happily sacrifice them as long as he gets some benefit from it. But no. That surrounding Republicans can use critical thinking skills. TBH. If Charlie was shot in the head then he'd probably still be alive. The bullet wouldn't have hit any vital organs. It's a pretty transparent move. He's only interested in honoring those he sees as useful to his own narrative. It really shows where his priorities lie, and it's not with public service or national unity. Because the guy was a white nationalist Trump decritter. I'm sorry. Was this a trick question? He made them raise the flags when Jimmy Carter died BC. He didn't want them down during his inauguration. Disrespectful and patriotic pose. Because he only pretends to care when he needs to pretend to care.